And we're live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the, for lack of a better
Lauren.
name, 2 Electric Boogaloo stream, which was
Lauren.
initially going to be
Lauren, let me hop in here. Everybody, you'll have to excuse me, all right? It's just we're 10 seconds in, and it is a total snooze fest, Lauren. You should be embarrassed. I mean, maybe that sort of hosting job cuts in at your Save the White People conventions, but you're dealing with the Lord's chosen cat here, okay? So you either gotta step up, woman, or step aside. It's really that simple. Roaming Millennial, you have some sort of problem with that? No, of course you don't. So let's meet our freaking panel, starting with this garden gnome in a Christmas sweater with a Parker Lewis can't lose haircut, Nick Fuentes. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Nick.
Yeah, sure. So I am the co-founder of America First Media and the host of America First.
Roaming Millennial, want to give a little intro?
Well, I'm on YouTube, like no BS.
Right. Okay, no bullshit. Want to tell everybody about yourself?
No bullshit here on YouTube. I do some entertaining, politically driven videos.
Dude.
Also touch on social movies.
Okay, you know what? Social movies? That's not a thing, guys. That doesn't exist. So look, I hate to do this, but I'm revoking all of your intro privileges. No more intros. You could have had them, people. And you know what? It's truly a shame because, Theryn, I was quite looking forward to yours. I think it would have been fabulous. Potentially a game changer. But after all of Roaming Millennial's long-winded, self-absorbed bloviating, as well as the social movies fiasco, we just can't risk it. So let's just move on. Now, Nick Fuentes, I'd like you to describe your vision of what you think America should be in the near future. But first, I want you to listen to this.
We're having pork chops and applesauce.
Okay, now talk like that for the remainder of the hangout. And go!
Sure. So where I veer off from the alt-right, where I veer off from a lot of these new characters that came about since the election is I'm a traditionalist. So my vision for the country is a country that has Jesus Christ at its core, a country that has the family.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, bitches. I love you, Jesus. I love you, Jesus.
And a country fundamentally that people enjoy living in and is healthy for people's mental and soul.
Well, I'm very glad you're concerned with people's mental.
Now, would you consider yourself alt-right?
I technically don't consider myself alt-right only because they tend to lose me on the pure racialism.
Yes, but to be fair, Nick, this hidden camera footage shows that they do get you with the whole sex with black people as an act of degeneracy thing.
Would you say that me having sex with my dog is the same thing as me having sex with a black man?
No. But they would both be degenerate.
Oh! Now, in full disclosure, I do believe half of that. Having sex with dogs is definitely an act of degeneracy. Anyhow, moving on, Roaming Millennium, please tell us a little bit about your politics stuff.
I'm someone who, I want small government and big community involvement, big churches, things like that. It's not that I'm a libertarian who thinks like, yeah, you know, we'll all just do drugs and have no roads, that kind of thing, no control. I'm just someone who would rather those come from things like smaller communities, churches.
So you want our drugs to come from the churches. All right. Contrapoints, you want to tell me about his future?
Well, I would like to see an America that is a juster and fairer version of the one we already have, which is to say a country built by waves of immigration and not Disneyland for white supremacists.
Well, I hate to break it to you, Contrapoints, but Disneyland is already kind of for white supremacists.
A Spring Valley family says they were the victims of racism at Disneyland.
The person who plays the White Rabbit from Alice in Wonderland at the Disneyland theme park in Anaheim is racist. They say that he would not touch these little kids because of their skin color. All Jason Black wanted was a hug.
He wouldn't let me hug him.
The Blacks say their goal is to make sure it never happens again.
Now, did you guys get all that? It's a white rabbit, and the family's name was even literally the Blacks. How much more blatant does it have to be? Huh? And no, this is far from the only time.
This case involves another beloved Disney character, Donald Duck. Nastasia White has hired an attorney and will likely join this lawsuit filed earlier this week. It was supposed to be a day of fun. On December 10th, the Whites were celebrating the birthday of 2-year-old Ryder. The Whites says Rosie walked to within 3 feet of Donald Duck.
He was sitting there with his arms open. Donald, Donald.
Instead, Donald Duck went up to a young white girl near the bench and hugged her.
Okay, seriously now, guys. That family's name was the Whites, and they still were victims of racism. Nothing about all of this is subtle. Nothing. And you know what? You really have to ask yourself, how far down the rabbit hole does this whole thing go? I mean, what are we going to learn next? Donald Duck is a Nazi?
Here, improve the mind. Heil Hitler.
Oh, of course Donald Duck is a Nazi. Could everybody just give me a moment? I just really need a second all to myself. What the shit is going on with the internet? Donald Duck is actually Hitler. My brain is on fire. Okay, guys, I'm cool now. Yes, Donald Duck is a Nazi, but I'm dealing with it. I am dealing with this newfound information. Let's just move on.
Oh, boy. Well, it's just funny to me because what do you think is going to happen when you import people from the third world? You're going to get the same brutalism, the same low IQ of the third world in our country.
What happened when you had waves of Italian immigrants or Irish immigrants?
No, those were followers of Christ.
Excellent point by Nick. Followers of Christ definitely have the monopoly on high IQ.
I agree with a lot of things that Nick said earlier. This is a Christian nation, like it or not. This was a white Christian.
Yeah, suck it, atheist, suck it.
Where is it in the Constitution? Why would they have specifically left out any and all references to God and even went further to say that there was a separation of church and state? That seems so stupid. Why would you do that?
Oh, come on, Destiny. Everybody knows that the First Amendment was just a really elaborate typo.
The nation that was founded in 1776 was, in character, in form, a Christian nation. Until about 1965, this was a white Christian nation. And you can say that it's not in the letter of the law. I don't think they...
I'm sorry. There's just something that's been bugging me. I'm going to need you to stand still for a couple of seconds. Okay, perfect. I once was an ordinary house cat until... shot by God through the internet.
Go ninja, go ninja, go! 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 Go!
Ah, feels so much better now. Been needing to do that since we started, seriously.
Yeah, so there's a lot of focus, even from people like Nick, of the horrible cultural change that would happen from importing all the Muslims. And I just find it a little bit hypocritical because to me, it sounds like he wants to change American culture to something that it isn't, and probably something that would be an existential threat to me as a trans person.
Theryn, trans people will always have a place in a white Christian ethno-state. I mean, we gotta have somebody around to call a degenerate sex pervert that's totally gonna burn in hell.
The change I'm talking about is going back to the natural order of things, the natural order ordained by God.
What would happen to someone like me?
You would probably have to see a doctor. You would probably have
conversion therapy. You'd put me through electroshock therapy, wouldn't you?
Why do you immediately jump to electroshock therapy? That's really melodramatic, Theryn. I mean, maybe the doctors would have you euthanized.
Well, this is why leftists hate right-wingers, because they don't do enough to speak out against assholes like you.
I'm not on board with what he's saying. Just BT dubs.
I am.
Throwing that out there.
Well, maybe roaming millennial. Maybe you should do a little bit more work speaking out against people like that. Maybe when you have people like Richard Spencer on your channel, don't just sit there and go, oh, that's nice. That's so interesting.
Oh, come on, Theryn. Not everybody is as skilled at asking hard-hitting questions as David Rubin.
Yeah, even the Richard Spencers of the world, like they're kind of misrepresented as well. Like Richard Spencer is not a white supremacist. He is a white nationalist. He believes in a white ethno-state. He doesn't believe in whites being superior. So
I'll tell you, nothing gets past that guy. He has just mastered the art of the pushback.
Let me finish my point. Maybe you shouldn't just let him wrap his bullshit ideas in a beautiful pink bow, make it sound all cute. Maybe you actually have a responsibility to challenge him on his ideas and expose it for what it really is.
You know, Theryn, I bet you'd really be a big fan of No Bullshits videos.
At the most, you could say Spencer is a white nationalist, but is that really as bad as the left would have you think? I don't think so. He's white, and he loves his nation, which is also white. We are in America, so there's nothing inherently wrong with being a white nationalist.
Just a hunch I have. But hey guys, change the freaking topic. Sexual assault in the workplace is all the rage these days. How can we cut down on this stuff, aside from implementing my solution, which is to charge rapists 50 shekels and require that they marry their rapist as ordained in the book of Deuteronomy?
We can easily prevent all sexual assault in the workplace if our women were at home raising the kids.
Again,
Oh dear God.
I'm open to this idea.
Why are we here? Why are we doing this?
I'm being serious. I'm being serious. I understand if women have to work in this day and age, it makes perfect sense. I mean, the economy has been destroyed and pillaged by rootless transnational globalists. And so, unfortunately...
Okay, Nick, you just mentioned transnational globalists. Well, we do have some trans people here. Theryn, Contrapoints, do either of you care to comment on how you've wrecked the economy and the nuclear family?
These are foul, and I support white genocide.
Well, that actually confirms my suspicions. But let's get back to what we were talking about. Oh, God, no.
What the freak is up, internet?
Get out of here, Vadim.
Sorry, CC. I'm not going anywhere.
Oh, this is so not cool, man. I'm entertaining guests, and you're drunk, aren't you? Yep, totally freaking drunk. Guys, I'm really sorry. When it gets drunk on cheap beer like this, it's the one time I can't control them. Oh, God, get the fuck out of here, Vadim! This is a pathetic embarrassment. And do you have any idea how close I am to banging Lauren Southern? It's happening. It is odd, but you're gonna ruin it, so just go, just go.
All right, CC, fine. I'll get going, okay? But you know what? I'm a huge Half-Baked fan, and I don't know if I'll ever get a chance to do this again. So, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool, and fuck you. I'm out.
I'm really sorry about that, Nick Fuentes. Want some ointment for that? That's probably gonna swell. Okay, I'll take that as a no. Let's move on. Destiny, you haven't had much of a chance to say some crap, so say some crap.
Ultimate irony is seeing people like kind of roaming Millennial and then super Lauren Southern, who don't have children, talk here and espouse like the most important job of a woman is to be a baby pumper. And both of you have made the choice not to do so, not to have children and instead pursue this whatever kind of quasi-career thing we all do.
I'm ready to go right now. But
guys, she's ready to go. Any takers? You know, I'd usually step up, but she's half Asian, and I've dated Siamese before. They're very high maintenance, and the kids usually turn out cross-eyed, so I'm just not going to risk it.
There's a huge difference between saying, I think everybody should be able to choose to do what they want to do, but I think that most women would be happy doing this, and then going on Nick's Twitter and then seeing him find some woman that wants to join like the pharmaceutical industry and being like, look at this dumb fucking cunt. I can't believe that stupid bitch wants to join the world.
Listen, man. Maybe you can't understand righteous Christian passion, but there's a vast
No, because
difference
I don't give a fuck about your imaginary boogeyman in the sky.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. You do not talk about my imaginary boogeyman in the sky like that. Okay, Destiny? It's very disrespectful. And oh, look, guys. Jesus just joined the chat. Got something to say, Jesus?
Destiny, it's very hurtful to me when you speak about me like that. I got thoughts and feelings just like everybody else.
Of course you do, Jesus. I think it's really brave that you're willing to share that with us. Is there anything else you'd like us to know?
Yeah, I got a fidget spinner on my winky.
Yep, Jesus sure loves his fidget spinners. But hey guys, we're gonna have to wrap things up. But before we get going, no bullshit. Do you have anything else to add?
Yes, thank you everyone for coming on. And last thing I'll say is Richard Spencer watches my videos. He tweets them. MAGA 2020. It's okay to be white.
Finally, someone sticking up for the white people. You know, I am just really glad that we have shining beacons of white alpha male perfection like yourself and Nick Fuentes, seen here picking his nose and eating it to help make America great again. Later, Shodomites!
Hey, what What's going on, Sodomites? First of all, I'd just really like to sincerely apologize for my embarrassing display of public drunkenness earlier. I've just been in a really bad headspace lately, just to be perfectly honest, so just forgive me. I'd also like to send out a very important, quick message to all patrons. Please make sure and check out the patrons-only video CC and I will be sending very soon. Important info in that. Watch that thing. And right now, CC would like to thank the Legion of Extraordinary Shodomites, who seriously are the reason that Creationist Cat Ministries can continue to bring you these videos. Become a patron for as little as $1 freaking a month, or better yet, join the Legion of Extraordinary Shodomites at the $5 or more level and get your name like this in every freaking video. Or join at the $10 or more level and take part in our monthly super duper dance shoutout party along with these amazing people right here. Andrew Gilbert, BB Hammer, Bob O'Ling, Carla Thompson, Chatty Whacker, Chris Nesbitt, Kurt Smith, Glenn Lester, Gary Steelman, Holden Cantrell, Immaculate Knowledge, Jason Whitty, Joseph Proctor, Julian Casey, Joan Nobile, or Noble, Jonas Penderson, La Loba, Landon Knoll, Mark Ukrainitz, Matt Lillenfeld, Matthew Larson, Michael Vale, Michael Osborne, Mikola Demyekiev, Mystery Cat Kevin, Thunderman, Pamela Brown, Patrick Espinoza, Richard Hunt, Ryan McClure, Sally Ferguson, Shenanigan, S.R. Foxley, Staggles, Susan Schindler Laredo, The Space Pigeon, William Agnew, Wolfgang Illmeyer, Wonder Woman, and Ren Nicholson. Go, 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 go. It's my favorite song of all time. True story. Yeah, nothing like the classics.
Jesus!